So let's talk about limiting beliefs and negative assumptions and what they are and how they might be blocking you from getting your manifestation, your desired results quickly and efficiently. So, the first thing we want to think about when we're thinking about our limiting beliefs and our negative assumption is something that Neville Goddard called the bridge of incidents. What the bridge of incidents is, it's all of the experiences, the people, the opportunities, the missing the bus, and then you meet your SP. Like these examples, these coincidences, these things that happen behind the scenes to get us from where we are now to our desired result. So basically, we're going from point A, which is where we are now, to point B, which is our desired result or getting our manifestation. So here's a specific example that will help you understand how limiting beliefs and negative assumptions interact with your bridge of incidents and make it either shorter and more efficient or longer and more difficult for your manifestation to be delivered to you. Let's remember also that your manifestation will always be delivered to you in an extremely natural way. Everything will feel naturally unfolding, a little bit like how, a plant will grow towards the sun in whatever way is easier, in the path of least resistance. Also, the way water will flow around. Our manifestations are no different. Our manifestations will always take the path of least resistance, right? When we have limiting beliefs that get in the way of that path of least resistance, so it'll put stops in that our bridge of incidents has to go around. So let me give you an example from one of my clients, which will help you visualize this better. So my client is new to the dating scene in our city in Dubai, and she is wanting to use the apps, right? She has a limiting belief before she starts that the only guys that she's going to meet on these apps are players, that she's looking for a serious, committed relationship. She's dating with the intention of marriage. And she has a limiting belief. Yes, it's a limiting belief that all of the guys she's going to meet are just players. So they're just looking for a casual hookup. They're not interested in who she is. They're going to use her. These kind of limiting beliefs, right? Very common kind of limiting belief. It's imbued within our culture. It's in our media. It's in our movies and TV shows and whatever else. However, we all know someone who's met their spouse through this way, right? There are always exceptions to the rule. And as I explained to her, if she wants to keep the limiting belief, I would recommend she doesn't download the apps. She doesn't use them because she's got a belief that a certain outcome is going to happen. And let's remember that the universe doesn't know what we want. The law of assumption doesn't give us what we want and desire. The law of assumption gives us what we believe. So guess what she was experiencing because she had that belief? Disappointment. Every guy she met was a player. It was a very difficult situation for her because until she started coaching with me, because she had a belief and she was receiving the feedback from her 3D reality that her belief was true. She had the evidence. She could sit and argue through a full 1 hour coaching session about her limiting belief, right? At the same time, she was persisting in her imaginal scenes about meeting the guy of her dreams and him sweeping her off her feet and being the opposite of a player, a guy who wanted to commit to her straight away, etc. I won't go into too many details about her exact situation. If she continued to persist in that imaginal scene, she was still lined up with that outcome. However, she had the conflicting, limiting belief that every guy she met on Tinder, she was going to have to go around. She was going to be unsuccessful with. Do you understand? So I advised her, let's change your limiting belief about the apps. Let's insert the belief. Isn't it amazing in this modern day world that we have so many options for meeting people and we don't even have to leave the comfort of our own home? right? Isn't it amazing that I can sit here and open up a channel, multiple channels to the universe to invite in the love and connection that I already know is mine? Do you feel the difference immediately in this? Do you feel the difference? Do you feel the difference in a belief like I'm always attracting safe and high value romantic interest, for example, was one that we implanted. So it's not just about the affirmation, right? You can write down the affirmation, definitely record exactly in specific detail what your new belief is going to be, whether that's one or multiple, or if it's a feeling as well. Now let's go through 3 ways of changing a limiting belief. So the first way you can use is using your imaginal acts. So just like your sats at the end of the night before you go to sleep, you want to put yourself in that drowsy state in between wake and sleep, whether that's through meditation or whether it's at the end of the night before you're about to go to sleep or when you wake up in the morning coming out of sleep. You want to choose before that point, you want to write down or think about, plan out an imaginal scene that shows you in your mind that you have a completely different point of view, a completely different perspective on that limiting belief on that topic, right? So for my client, her imaginal scene was talking to her friend about the sheer volume of amazing guys she was attracting through the apps. All of the sudden, she was booked out for a month ahead with multiple dates, meeting multiple guys who were all planning everything, organizing everything, they're pursuing her. She didn't have to do anything, right? So she's telling her friend that she's feeling really good in the scene. She's feeling really confident about herself and just feeling like it's happening. It's all working out for her. She's having such amazing fun times, safe times with these guys. And not all of them are obviously her guy, but it's just a lot of fun. And that was her first option, to use her imaginal scene. The second option you have is to use revision. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to an experience that you think, a memory you think may have created this kind of limiting belief for you. So for my client, I asked her to go back to the first time she started thinking these kind of negative and limiting beliefs about the guys in the city and the dating apps. So she could trace it back to a conversation she'd had with some girls that she'd met about how awful the dating scene is, how you can't meet anybody here, blah, 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 blah. And then also another channel for her to receive this information was a Facebook group that she was on, where she was seeing all of these negative posts about memes and stuff about the same topic. Obviously, you take action in your 3D, go off that page. If you don't want to receive those negative beliefs anymore, of course, you want to edit and filter your 3D reality how you can. You want to stop having those conversations with people who are super negative about the topic that you want to improve. But going back to our actual technique here, revision, what you want to do is go back to that memory and create a new memory with your desired outcome that indicates that you now have a different perspective, a different point of view on that topic that you're trying to change, on that limiting belief you're trying to change. So with revision, what we're doing is we're taking an actual memory we have of a certain moment in time that might have been the seed that might have planted that limiting belief. And then we're going to change the memory. And when we change the memory, when we revise the memory into our desired outcome, we're actually going to shift our point of view and perspective on that topic throughout our history, throughout our past up till now. Okay. So for my client, she went back to the negative conversations she was having with some girls she'd met about how bad the dating scene is in Dubai, about how, it's pointless downloading the apps if you're serious about meeting someone, blah, 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 blah. She also wanted to revise, having looked at a whole lot of information online about the same topic, and she wanted to have a clean slate feeling, and a feeling of just positive anticipation about entering the dating scene here, almost just taking a mental shower, just washing away all of the experiences she'd had, almost like she'd never heard any information at all about this topic. Do you understand what we're doing here? So, what I told her to do was go back to the scene where she was talking to those girls and in her mind, think about the desired outcome. And this is how creative you can be. One girl was saying, "Oh, I met my current fiance on Tinder." And then another girl saying, "Oh, my husband and I met on Hinge," or whatever. Someone else is saying, "Oh, my cousin met her husband on," I don't know what the names of them were, Tinder. And yeah, and she's feeling this bubbly anticipation and champagne feeling inside her belly about the time. How do we start to identify and dismantle our limiting beliefs? The cool part about this is we can use manifestation to do this. So we can't address or change or get rid of any limiting beliefs we have, any negative assumptions we have that we're not aware of, right? So we can start to use manifestation to ask to receive the awareness of our limiting beliefs. So if you feel like, for example, if you're manifesting an SP and you just wonder, you don't know for sure, but you just wonder, do I have any limiting beliefs that are blocking it? You can start to intend to receive awareness of any of these limiting beliefs. This is where things get cool, because what will start to happen is like someone might randomly lend you a book, for example, a self-help book, for example, where you'll suddenly become aware, oh my gosh, I have these pattern in relationships, for example, or the YouTube algorithm might give you a video on anxious attachment, or your mum or your dad might mention something to you about something that happened between them when you were a child. And then you think, oh, that's why I do what I do. The key here is to just have a light, playful attitude with how law of assumption is going to deliver you this awareness of your limiting beliefs. It doesn't have to be this heavy thing. It doesn't have to be like going to therapy for years to dredge up these old memories or these old patterns or whatever it is, to rake over the coals of your childhood. Like, sure, if therapy is working for you, and definitely for me, I've used therapy in tandem with manifestation with great results. Like, you can actually use it as a tool in your manifestation process. And you just need to affirm and make sure you're affirming that everything that you're doing in your therapy is working in your favor for manifestation. Because obviously, sometimes in therapy, things can be like you can have that tendency to focus on the negative, right? To try and fix things. And let's just remember in manifestation that the universe doesn't give us what we want. The law of assumption doesn't give us what we want. It gives us what we are paying attention to. So if you're going into your therapy sessions and you're going raking over the coals of a negative interaction, like just watch out for that, because you're going to receive more, right? Whatever way you choose to bring awareness to your limiting beliefs, let's just give it an overarching affirmation or intention or vibe of it's playful. How I receive my limiting beliefs is playful, magical, serendipitous, a synchronicity, and it's very easy to detach from them and to release them. Okay, so there's just like a little bonus pep talk from me about limiting beliefs, because I think it can be this kind of demonized thing in the manifestation community of like, oh, you've got these subconscious beliefs and you're not aware of them and they're blocking you. You actually have the ability through manifestation to start to have visibility. You can intend, you can affirm, you can choose to manifest to understand your limiting beliefs as they come up. Of course you have them. Of course you have them. We all have them. We were programmed by our parents, by our family of origin, by generations of family, and also by the cultures we live in. We're programmed with limiting beliefs, every single one of us, right? None of us are created and raised in a vacuum.
And that's not to blame our parents, because obviously they do not intend to have any negative impact on us. This brings me to my next point, which is another way you can find your limiting beliefs. This is a bit sneaky, but you can look at your parents or your family of origin and you can see, you can make that comparison. If any of the negative patterns that they had happening in their life, say they have maybe some things in their marriages you don't want to repeat, but that you see yourself like automatically starting to repeat, there's a limiting belief. So another very practical way, and this is like probably the fastest, this is probably the most quickest at accessing your subconscious. And what I want you to do is get a pen and paper, right? And do not overthink this. Like, just do it as automatically as you can, as quickly as you can, right? So I want you to write out your desire at the top of the page. So your desire to get your ex back, to earn X amount of dollars this month, to find your dream home that you, when you're looking in the property market, whatever your desire is. And you do this individually for each one, right? So put one desire at the top of the page for each one and do it desire by desire or manifestation by manifestation. Start with the first one, write it at the top of the page, and then write down, why can't I have this? Why can't I have this now? And then without thinking, just list the ways, just as quickly as you can, just list down every single reason why you cannot have what you want. Okay. And this is just that quick accessing of the subconscious mind of the things that maybe we haven't thought about. Maybe some of these little blocks or big blocks that might be in the way that we're not really bringing our full awareness to. And then to release these, we'll go on to the next section. So let's talk about releasing or dismantling our limiting beliefs. So going back to the last point I made about writing that list, writing that automatic list of why I can't have what I want, why I can't have my desire. Let's start with that one. So what I want you to do is have a look over that list. And then I want you, for every point you made, for every reason why you can't have what you want, I want you to question whether that reason is a universal truth, right? What I mean by universal truth is, could it be proven wrong? Or is it just a fact that is it universally accepted? Is it 100% guaranteed that is a block on not giving you what you want? So I want you to first ask yourself that question. Is it a universal truth? Is this reason that I can't have what I want a universal truth? And then you will find no, it's not. There's very few universal truths that I very much doubt that any of the reasons that you put down are going to be a universal truth. If you feel like they are, you can always contact me and we'll talk about it together. However, once you've done that and you realize, no, it's not a universal truth, you've made a little bit of wiggle room for the possibility that it can happen, right? That it's actually just something that you need to let go of. Then I want you, with that possibility in mind, to go back through the list and to argue against what you've written down with the sense of possibility in your heart, with the air of potential around the activities. So what I personally do is just bring a little bit of silliness and playfulness to this, right? So one of the arguments that I love giving when I do this list for myself is replying to each reason why I can't have what I want with says who. Because really, says who? Who is making the rules in your universe? Even the most illogical, irrational desire, the most outrageous desires, the most crazy bridges of incidents that would have to happen desires, all of these desires are still possible. When you close the door on it and you say, no, this isn't for me, this isn't a thing I can have, right? It's so important to look at the reasons why you can't have it, because there's your limiting beliefs. and then to take them and to look at them and to say, says who? For example, this is a really common one I get with my clients, right? Say my client is a woman and she might want a really wealthy man as her husband, right? So she wants, I'll make this up. This is just based off like a common theme I see with my clients. She wants a millionaire husband or a billionaire husband, right? And she also wants him to be really gorgeous. And immediately there is this, I don't know what it is. It's like a cultural trope. It's like a thing of, oh no, he can't be rich and gorgeous. Says who? Says who? We've got to stop. We've got to stop limiting ourselves, right? And it's so cool to do this exercise, right? Because when you listen to yourself and you feel that twang of, oh no, I can't have both those things, write that down as well. And just keep asking yourself, says who? Why can't I have that? And just keep getting to the bottom of those limiting beliefs. And you'll start to feel like you're undoing all of this kind of crap that you didn't realize you even had in there. And what you're doing is you're just freeing up the blocks. You're just taking away the obstacles that you're putting yourself, or your subconscious is putting, or your programming, I should say. You're not putting it yourself. Your programming has put these blocks on your bridge of incidents, and you're just clearing it off. So it's a clear, free highway. Okay. It's actually a lot of fun. Be playful with it. Have a sense of humor. Don't take it so seriously. It doesn't have to be like this crying in your bed in fetal position inner child healing thing. Like, it doesn't have to be that. Sure, if you're feeling like that, get extra support. If you feel like you need like somatic healing or Reiki or whatever else you believe in, you need hypnosis, whatever else you want and feel like is going to support your journey, go ahead and do it. But my personal journey has been, this is actually not as serious as it seems. And this is coming from someone who's tried every healing modality there is out there. I'm a master level Reiki practitioner. I've done therapy for years. I thought all of this subconscious trauma stuff was so heavy and serious and whatever. And once I started doing these limiting belief lists where you just list stuff out, why can't I have what I want? It's actually really freeing.